Sup everyone. 20 minutes late as usual. It seems that this seems to be a new standard, doesn't it? So as you guys can see, we're going to be talking about Genshin's influence. I made a video talking about roughly talking about how I think that the development of Blue Protocol and its general direction, and likely going forward its future budget, will all be affected by Genshin's success, and so will a lot of other games. It's not a surprise to me that once companies see how much money, I mean potential money is to be made in this space, that they are going to pivot and go full throttle to try and capitalize on this market. Now, that is not the full extent of Genshin's influence in the gaming industry, and I'm saying gaming industry, not just the mobile gacha industry, just gaming industry in general. Sorry. I think I may have a mild cold. Very uncomfortable. The house is very dry. We're getting a lot of snow where I am, way more than usual. The snow goes up to my knees, all right? The snow goes up to my knees. So it usually doesn't even make it to my ankle. So I probably look completely messed up. I just refreshed my Welcome Moon, which is like pretty much the only thing I buy in the store nowadays. I mean, I do buy gems when I need to guarantee a character, but that's pretty much the extent of it. I'm definitely not as try hard as I used to. I used to try to get the character and their weapons, but nowadays I just stick with the characters. Don't care about the weapons really much. I have enough weapons to kind of move around to make things work. All right. I think it's also safe to say that I am not Genshin's main demographic. Likely neither are most of you guys. I think people who watch these YouTube videos fall just outside of Genshin's main demographic, but that's okay. That's fine. It's not a big problem. Soraxis, my friend, haven't seen you in a while. I actually saw some of your comments earlier today. Yeah, I remember you because you have the tendency to leave like like a multiple comments, which is fine. What is this? Lisa's official title, right? The purple teacher. No, was it in the library? There you go. Next question. Misakaya, official title was I think it was cavalry. Yeah. Okay. Miss Amber's official title as Knights of Favonius is Scout or Outrider. Oh, was this Scout or Outrider? Scout? Oh no, it was Outrider. Anyways. Did I finish all my commissions for the day? Yes, I did. Nice. My stuff. Look at that, making good progress every day, people. Every single day. Hey, my Genshin dailies are pretty much done. Look, my BP is level 6. Unprecedented progress in my BP levels. Okay. The cap resin, yeah. Oh my god, have you even done the abyss? If you guys want, maybe towards the end we can do the abyss. I've been told this abyss is very annoying. I don't use the word hard in abyss. It's never hard. It's just annoying. Okay. Listen. I think the word hard is misused when it comes to Genshin and Abyss and its content. I don't think any content is hard. They just make it more difficult, and I mean they make it more annoying than difficult. Is what I meant to say. They have certain gimmicks in the Abyss that makes your life a lot more difficult. And like this is the thing about every Genshin Abyss, is that there will be one side of the people who says it's hard, and then there will be a group of people who says it's easy. You know why that's the case? Because it's not revolved around like difficulty per se. It's revolved around gimmicks, and the fact that some people have certain characters that can counter these gimmicks will make their lives a lot easier. Some people who haven't invested into counters obviously are going to find it more difficult. So like by saying like, oh, the Abyss is a lot harder now, I think it's a misrepresentation. Is that Abyss has rotated to the Abyss has rotated to a different gimmick, which for people who have not invested in countermeasures will find it incredibly annoying to run Abyss. You talk about Alhaitham's nerfs yet, my friend? I don't even know what Alhaitham does yet. You're talking about nerfs? I don't even know what the man does. But what I do know is every time people look at leaks and start talking stuff about it online, like, people go like, oh my god, Alhaitham is so strong, Alhaitham is so cool, he's broken, and the Hoyoverse comes in with the hot nerf. Every time. Oh. That's, you know what, this is, we'll stay here we'll stay here for the live stream. So yeah, like people go online, they look at the leaks, and then they go like, oh my god, he's broken, he's so damn good, and then Hoyoverse nerfs it every time. Like, have you guys noticed this has been happening with all the leaks? Marcus Wallace, if they were smart, they wouldn't say anything. That's what I've been saying. Like, you can enjoy leaks, but don't publicly go out and start talking about why the character is broken and like insane and shit like that. Then cry about it when they get nerfed. You got them nerfed. Like, you're part of the problem if you're out there like, oh my god, so broken, oh, sharing it all, right? There's like people already crunching numbers, like, oh my goodness, this character is like, oh, blah blah. Who was the last character this happened to? I remember somebody got nerfed, and people were like, oh my god, like, why did they nerf? Oh yeah, Yelan, wasn't it? Or was that a misunderstanding? I don't remember. Like, there was this whole thing about Yelan being like this revolutionary character and applying a ton of hydro and whatever, and then when she came out, it wasn't the case, and people got upset. Or was that a misunderstanding of her kit? I don't remember. But like, the whole point is stop overhyping characters. I know people get excited, and I'm not telling you guys to not get excited. I'm just saying it's in your best interest to try and mislead Hoyoverse. Like, if the community actually can work together, we can outsmart Hoyoverse at every turn. You guys know that, right? Like, we can manipulate Hoyoverse just like how they manipulate us. But the community is just a bunch of horny otakus who don't give a damn about anybody but themselves. But and Cloud Chasers has to constantly be like on steroids or something when it comes to hyping the game. They just be like, oh my god, I'll hype them. Did you see I'll hype them? He's so good. He's so broken. I'm gonna pull him my husbando. I've already pre-ordered 7 body pillows, 6 pajamas. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's like these people make me feel like I'm crazy, because the way they behave every time a character comes out, like, they make it sound like the second coming of Jesus, and then once 2 weeks passes, they never talk about these characters ever again. Like, you will never hear them talk about the characters again. They'll move on to the next one, right? Once the character comes out, you don't see them for 2 weeks until the next leak or the next big thing comes, like, rolls around. And like, oh my god, did you guys see Deja? It's the same thing every time. I can't keep up. Like, these people, I don't know how they get the, where they pull this excitement out of. All I can give you guys, all I guarantee you guys, is my honest opinions. That's it. That's all I can guarantee you. If the character's good, I'm going to say it. If the character's bad, I'm going to say it. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm certainly excited for characters, but I keep my expectations very tempered nowadays, especially with since the release of, I don't know, who was it? I don't think it was like a switch or something. It was like a gradual thing. You just keep getting disappointed and you realize, you know what, I should just not get excited, see the character, keep my excitement contained, see the character, test it, then give my verdict. Tech advice Walrus Hoyo has bias to female units for money. They will always make a female DPS very good, while male DPS will always be mid. I've noticed that. I've noticed that. Sorry guys. I'm just gonna stick this in my nose because it's like a leaking faucet right now. I can't. I know my voice is gonna sound more nasally than usual. It's already very nasally. What is happening on that roof? Raiden is stuck, and she needs a. Will this get me demonetized? Marcus Bullock says, it's funny because every time you get a review on a character, it's honest and unbiased for the most part, that is, and yet people still get mad at you. Well, Marcus, people, like I said, like, I'll say this till my dying breath, is people don't watch content to learn new things or to get a perspective. People are trying to find the perspective that matches their perspective, right? People are trying to find the thing that justifies their beliefs. So if they believe, let's say, a character like Scaramouche is the best character, best DPS in the game, or Scaramouche is amazing, Scaramouche is insane, like, that's the kind of stuff they want to see. Now, it's difficult because YouTube will recommend Scaramouche content to everybody, right? Like, if they are looking for Scaramouche content, YouTube realizes they've been watching like 5, 6, 7, 8 Scaramouche videos, and my video comes up and be like, oh, we have a problem. It's gonna get promoted to these people, and then they'll be like, what? Scaramouche? Problem? Right? Click in and be like, oh, this guy is just crazy, man. So my content, for the most part, ends up being like that. And it's not like I haven't made videos talking about good characters. I have in the past when they were good. It's just there haven't been good characters. Like when Yelan came out, I was praising her quite a lot, to the point where till this day, there are people who think I'm like a Yelan, like simp, right? People are like, oh my god, this guy is Yelan again. Like, to the point, if you guys notice, that I shower praise for good characters a lot. And, I constantly talk about how good Raiden C2 is. Now I'm going to start talking about how good Raiden C0 is. Prepare yourselves, because you're about to get like 4 videos talking about Raiden Shogun and how good she is. Like, and then people get annoyed at that. People's like, oh, like, overhype. You're overhyping. But when you compare a character like Raiden Shogun Nahida to a character like Sino and Scaramouche, it's quite night and day, the importance of bolstering your account with strong characters. And if you're going to, like, in my honest opinion, if you're going to get a C2 Raiden or a C0 Raiden, C0 Scaramouche, and let's say another C0 like C0 Sino, I would say probably go get your C2 Raiden Shogun. That's just my opinion, right? And I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna actually tell people that. A lot of people would say, You see, this is the problem where a lot of people would say, well, you should get more C0 characters because Genshin is easy. You're gonna be able to clear the game regardless of what you do, so you should just play for fun, right? Like, while that's not wrong, that's not right either. Oh, my whole body aches. Does that happen when you catch a cold? So I don't know, but my point here is not to, you know, tell people how to enjoy the game. My point here is to offer you my experience in the game, and you take that and make a judgment out of it what you will. If you think I am misrepresenting the game and the certain characters, you know, you're free to ignore me, you're free to downvote me, you're free to talk trash about me. I'm okay with that, like, because that's, you know, that's your freedom to believe what you want. But I wholeheartedly do think that you know, it doesn't do anyone justice, apart from serving certain people's delusions, to continue promoting characters that are subpar to the general audience. Why is Raiden wet, is my question. Have you guys know why is she wet? There's no application of hydro, yet she has this status effect. What is going on? This is wrong on so many levels. Have we just discovered a new game-breaking bug? Like, why is there a wet status condition on her? No, like, I okay. I need to quench my thirst here, so hydrating. anyways, we're talking about Genshin and its influence, okay? At least that's what we're gonna talk about for the first bit of this video. What is this? Oh, that's a Wendy's coupon. I'm sorry. I just had this on my table. It's like, what the hell is this? It's like a Wendy's coupon, and it's expired. Whew, damn. The HGK says, "Damn, that's hot." I know. Maybe that's why she's sweating. So, okay, let's start here. Do you guys think Genshin has done more good than or more bad for the gaming industry? It's very broad. So type 1 if you think Genshin has done more good. Type 2 in chat if you think Genshin has done more harm. And then we'll talk about both sides, right? I think this topic is interesting. We don't always have to talk about meta Genshin. Remember, 1, more good. 2, more bad. Now, you're free to change your answers, right? So let's talk about the good as you guys are still typing in chat. The good I think Genshin has done, in my opinion, is that it showed that a more non-aggressive content style and content consumption for players is welcomed. Not all games has to be in competitions with each other. Think about it like this, right? Genshin is designed in a way that Genshin's goal is not to make you quit other games. It's just for you to play Genshin. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll repeat that. Genshin's goal is to coexist with other games that you play, right? Genshin has proven that time and time again. It's okay to play another game next to Genshin. That's what Genshin's like. They're not aggressive in the way they want to. Like there are other games out there that are trying to monetize all your time, right? Be like, quit all your other games. Disassociate with all your friends, stop talking with your family, say goodbye to your life savings. We want all of you. We want your soul, your time, your mind, everything. And it just, it demands too much. Whereas Genshin is the complete opposite. It's like, you know what? Here's the deal. Give us maybe 30, 40 minutes of your time every day, maybe less if you care, less about all this random stuff we're throwing at you. Cool, right? Fine. You can even do 10 minutes every day. We're okay with that, all right? Just give us 10 minutes of your time every day, minimum, and we're good. Really? No, like, I think that's the good that Genshin has shown. A lot of people would say that's bad. But trust me, you do not, and I repeat, you do not want to lose your life. I'm telling you guys, as a 50-year-old man sitting here telling you guys, you will regret spending so much time on things that don't really matter just to fill your boredom. There's plenty of ways to fill your boredom. Spending 8, 10, 15 hours a day grinding away at video games is not the way, my friends. It is not the way. It is not. Trust me. Genshin is doing you a great service by only allowing you a certain amount of playtime. Now, am I saying that it's not manipulative? No, it is extremely manipulative how it's designed for, prolonged consumption versus, daily burnouts. So that's what I'm telling you guys. That's the good. I think that's one of the main strengths. There's other good that Genshin has done, but I think that's the main one. Showing to game developers that you guys should try to coexist with each other, because competition for people's time is only going to get more intense, right? With like shorts, TikTok and stuff, people's attention span are getting shorter and shorter. It is going to be much more difficult to try to keep people's attention for more than 5 minutes at a time. 5-10 minutes, like if you're lucky, you can maybe stretch it to maybe 30 minutes, but 5-10 minutes is like that sweet spot. You should, like, in the future, I wouldn't even be surprised that everybody's playing like 7-8 different games and each game takes up 30 minutes of their time, because that's the only way going forward if you want to survive in this space. Are you really going to believe, like as a developer, are you really going to believe that you can create a product that can make people consistently play for like years on end, for hours a day? I think the age for that type of games are coming to an end. I think if you can get people to play for a couple months for like many hours a day, that's already a very, very good feat. Some of the best AAA titles are able to do that, like Witcher series, like the Elden Rings, right, the Dark Souls series, stuff like that. Maybe I don't know, like, do people even play GTA anymore? I don't know. So that's why I think going forward, but then this opens the door. Like, you see, this is a double-edged sword, right? That's one of the good things, but this also like could be bad. Is like it opens the door to a lot of trashy ass games that has no substance or content. One of Genshin's strength is also that Genshin has built a world and somewhat in-depth lore to the characters and to the to the game state. So it's very difficult for other games to really get in and trump that, right? Trump that level of immersion from the get-go. It took us quite a while to kind of get to this point when it comes to Genshin's lore and all that stuff. And whether you believe it or not, the annoying side quests that you guys find very, very troublesome to deal with, like you don't know, like you don't really feel it, but it kind of just envelops you in this whole world, right? You might not be interested, but the fact that you know that little side thing exists and this little whole side story thing and other people talk about it makes it feel real, makes it feel like it's real and it's right here next to you in this world. So I don't really see any other games going to that length. And look at how much effort HoYoverse puts into the hangout events. Each character, when they release, they get their own story like story quests and stuff like that. There's a lot of effort put into lore here, and I think that's one of the reasons why Genshin feels more alive. Okay, so yeah, there's gonna be a lot more trashy games that are just after your money, and they're cool with you playing 10-15 minutes a day as long as you pay up, right? I think that's the wrong approach. I think you should make a great product. You should try to build for immersion. You should try to get people to invest emotionally into your game, not just physically, in more ways than one physically, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But apart from that, let's now talk about the bad. I think one of the bad things that Genshin has shown the world is that this type of predatory, manipulatory monetization models when it comes to gacha and using casino tactics to get people to spend money and to pull for these characters and using waifus as like the primary bait. It's shown other developers that, you know, not only can you get away with it, you will be praised to the heavens and back, right? People will shower you with praise, especially players. Look at Genshin. The vast majority of Genshin's players are like hard simping for HoYoverse. They are like hard simping. Like without question, they will continue to shower HoYoverse with praise for its character releases, for its monetization, for all this stuff. They can do no wrong. Elliot Malonga says, nice pose, already subbed. You guys already know your boy Elliot here is a man of culture. Tech Devices Wars, it made the loot box problem even worse. We should be banning that in gaming. I agree. I think the whole gacha, you know, the RNG loot box, spend like $2 for a chance to get something. Like, yes, there's a chance you can get it with $2, but there's also a chance you don't get it in $200. You know. Chris Tan says the fact miHoYo made a temple where you can offer stuff for Zhao Yaksha Fred. You know what? HoYo series on world building. Yeah, like HoYoverse has been very aggressive with their branding and promotion for Genshin Impact, right? The mobile phone collabs. They even have a collaboration with like a sports car brand or something. Like, was it Ferrari? Was it Ferrari or Lamborghini? They like, or was that like a custom thing by a fan, right? And then apart from that, they have restaurant collaborations with KFC, with Pizza Hut, in the Asian region, in the Asia. What am I talking about? In some of the Asian countries. Man, what am I talking about? So. You see they're trying, right? And you don't really see other games trying this hard. That's a good amount of money that they're dumping into this stuff, and I think devs need to realize that immersion is more important than they're giving credit for. The only reason why people are like making free art, doing cosplays for free, right? Making fan art for free and all this stuff, and should I say this next stat line? You know, Genshin is top 3 searched anime for Pornhub, right? I'm just saying, hey, ain't no shame. Genshin, like, it's just part of the immersion, people. Like, I'm just saying, like, you guys, like, do you know what sells more than loot boxes? Eroticism. Eroticism sells. I don't think I can say the other word, the 3-letter word that sounds like the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know. But that sells. So, like, monetizing, like, HoYoverse truly is weaponizing every little bit of asset they have left. And yes, I really did emphasize the ass part for asset. So, listen, people. You are mistaken if you think Genshin's strength lies solely in-game. I would argue that Genshin's main attraction lies outside of the game. Like, you guys are free to argue what you believe, but I think Genshin, especially HoYoverse, makes great moves outside of Genshin Impact. And Wishia says Eula be like, was it Eula who was the top search, or was it Hu Tao? I remember Hu Tao was really up there, which is crazy. Heno G777, all anime cons now are 80% Genshin is crazy. Yeah. Because Genshin has become such a worldwide phenomenon that, like, and you know, traditional anime cosplays like Dragon Ball, Goku, Naruto, these other characters are just cringe, right? Like, it's like, oh, like, you know, get over it, old man. It's time to move on to the new age. And there's like, and Hero Academia, stuff like that is just like, okay, like, you know, Deku. but it's nothing feels as relevant as Genshin. Is it accurate in saying that? Nothing feels as relevant as Genshin. And when it comes to these conventions, it's all about relevancy. It's all about relatability. So if you go to the convention dressed up as a character from like an anime that 3 people watch, you're not gonna have that good of a time, like, quite honestly, because everybody's gonna be huddling at these other booths. People are gonna be like, oh my god, nice costume. Are you perhaps Yelan from Genshin Impact? Like, oh my god, I'm Zhongli. Right? And then you're just sitting there in the corner being like, oh, but I'm like Kukaku Samudo from 3 Wide Ninja. Like, oh, you never heard about it? It's like this anime, and it's like very cool. Like, instead of 24 frames per second, they animated it with 13.7 because it's a tribute towards like this great art. Like, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Like, maybe you care, other people don't, right? So it's like, at the end of the day, it's all about relevancy. It's all about clout. And Genshin, my god, Genshin is a fucking clout farming machine, man. Like, if I listen, people, if I rolled up into a convention dressed up as Yelan, I will be on clout 9. I'll be in clout heaven. Like, not only am I, you know, like, promoting LGBTQ, I'm also, you know, exploring a different comfort zone, and I'm also like hitting the checking off the Genshin mark, right? And I'm like, you know, like, I'm not the most, you know, well-built person, so people are gonna be like, oh my god, he's, you know, like, he's so confident, he's so, like, has that pizzazz about him, like, and especially if I slay it, I'm just like, give it up that, like, slaying vibe. People are gonna, like, that's just clout farm, like, oh, like, I'm telling you guys, that's the way to go. And that's how Genshin has stayed relevant for so damn long. Really, like, truly, it's just people in this space are so modernized and so up to date, and they know exactly what they need to do to not, like, it's a win-win situation for the CCs and for Genshin. That's like the best way I can explain it, right? The CCs gets content in return, but like Hoyoverse gets all this free promo. Other gaming companies need to start realizing, especially gaming companies like Nintendo, these Japanese companies who are like copy striking people for just using 3 seconds of video footage from their game. Whereas Genshin is just like, look, like, I'm able to sit here, use their music, use their promo material, use their in-game footage, and they don't care as long as it's not leaks, right? So, I mean, for some people, even leaks, Hoyoverse really doesn't give a shit. Like, look how many leaks are out there. Do you know how many? Every patch, I'm telling you guys, every single patch when the leaks drop, I have to like ban up to 10 channels from my YouTube recommended page. Every patch, right? So, I'm telling you guys, Hoyoverse don't care. And all of their titles is like, I'll hide them, blah 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 blah, like leaks or like skills or whatever, right? Or bursts, or like, it's just, if Hoyoverse really wanted to, they can put the keywords, they can find all variations of the keywords and just like send out a bot to claim. Like, Nintendo can do it. Why can't you, Hoyo? Oh, is it perhaps because these leaks are generating a large amount of traction to your games and building hype and excitement, so you don't do it? Do you guys know how easy it is to just copy strike through keywords and stuff like that? They can do it very easily. They can do it. Like, it wouldn't take somebody even like a full afternoon to set all this up. And they can get rid of all these, like, they could get rid of 80 to 90% of the leaks. People have to start getting really creative just to share leaks, and without the proper keywords in the title, YouTube won't recommend it. Then the leaks don't spread. No, like, you guys think I'm bullshit. Like, if you can't type Alhaitham skill, Alhaitham burst, Alhaitham 3.4, Alhaitham leaks, like, if you can't use any of these keywords, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna replace the Al in Alhaitham to, like, from a L to an I? Well, HoYoverse can do that too, right? Like, they just do all this. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't take that long. Like, people, like, one person with 2 to 3 hours can probably set up all the keywords and make them, like, file it for the whole, like, copyright stuff. You know, it's not hard, so why don't they do it, right? So next time HoYoverse says, like, oh my god, we're fighting leakers, no, it's just they're trying to combat the amount of people leaking by sending out a lawsuit, finding one guy, make an example of them, deter maybe 30% of the leakers. Well, whereas the other people are like, I got nothing to lose, you know, like, they're not gonna catch me, no way. I'm not gonna. It's always the big dudes, right? Like, they use the big dudes to set an example, so they keep the leakers very scattered. They keep them very scattered and unorganized, so it's very easy to crush them when the time needs to happen, as said in Sun Tzu, Art of War, right? Sleep with your enemies' wives, for what was it? For that, when the day comes, something like that. Sun Tzu, Art of War. Just slap that at the bottom of the quote. It sounds legit. Especially billion-dollar companies like HoYoverse can take down vids with a snap. Yep. So, Genshin Impact. I don't think we need to talk anymore about how Genshin's influence expands into the gaming industry. I think with Blue Protocol, we will see another anime title filling up another space. Now, Genshin pretty much dominates the mobile gacha space. Is Blue Protocol going to dominate the anime MMORPG space? Like, each genre needs their anime feel, right? HoYoverse is now trying to expand into the anime card game, not card game, anime turn-based battle through Star Rail, anime dungeon. What was that? What's that game mode called? From ZZZ. What kind of anime game is ZZZ? Like, they're just taking the anime formula and they're just plugging it in all these other games and playstyles. Roguelike, yeah. So, like, they're gonna plug the roguelike genre. These are subgenres. These aren't, like, main categories of game genres, right? Like, they're essentially all RPGs, but they're just different subcategories of RPGs. I think it's very interesting how HoYoverse is going about this. Even people nowadays who says, I'll never play another HoYoverse title again, likely they'll get roped in the future one way or another. As long as they are continuing to play anime-esque games, HoYoverse isn't scared, because HoYoverse knows eventually they're probably going to get you again, somewhere down the line. Wuthering Waves is another big one, okay? I don't know if HoYoverse is going to really combat Wuthering Waves, or they're going to have to share market space with them, because Wuthering Waves is demonstrating itself to be a big contender when it comes to, like, the mobile. If you're into combat-based content, I think that's likely one of the best games you can jump into. But at the same time, when combat gets too tricky, like, oh, you need to do pixel perfect dodges, you know, like, it's too intense, I don't think people want that either. Look at Genshin, right? If you don't want to play the tryhard meta comps, they are very easy to pilot comps. Now, if Wuthering Wave can give us easy characters to play around with, then they can pull in the casual player base. Like, if your game ignores the casual players, you are shooting yourself in the foot. No, let me read. You are pretty much amputating your legs at that point. If you're a developer and you actively choose to make a game that is too difficult for the casual players, you are amputating yourself. Now, a lot of you guys would immediately say, like, Walrus, that's cap because, you know, the Soul series exists. Listen, how many Soul series can there be? And I'm going to say it again. Is there a second Soul series? Is there a contender even? No. There can only be one. It's just like there can only be one Genshin. If you try to beat Genshin at their own game, people are just going to play Genshin. If you try to beat Elden Rings at their own game, people are just going to play Elden Rings. We're going to say like you copied Elden Rings. Don't try to compete. Like, you are not David. You will not win this battle, right? Like, this is a David versus Goliath kind of. Yes, I am going to the David versus Goliath type of, you know, example. You are not David. Most, like 99% of the game developers are not David. You will lose this battle. So, what you should do instead is make sure the casuals are taken care of. You don't have to build a game around them, but you need to give them something, right? So, like, one of my biggest concerns when it comes to Wuthering Wave is that they're trying to cater to the hardcore players. Look at Punishing Great Raven. I think Punishing Great Raven is a great example. I mean, it has a solid player base. People love the game. People are enjoying the game. But it isn't Genshin, right? Like, and they're not trying to be Genshin. They're trying to fill a niche that Genshin is lacking. Yet, why do all the people, rather than go and play Punishing Great Raven, they rather sit in Genshin and complain about the fact that Genshin is lacking endgame combat content? Have you guys realized that? It almost seems like that there's an entire other game out there that's designed around exactly what these people are looking for. Yet, instead of playing those games, they actively choose to stay in Genshin and complain about the fact that Genshin doesn't have what those other games have. Isn't that so weird? Like, I find that extremely bizarre. Check the viruses. Walrus, the problem is Genshin is going too far towards casual space and alienating hardcore players. There should be a balance. I agree, Techie. You know what? Like, for once, we are like 100% on the same page here. I think Genshin leans too far towards a casual space as well. But Techie, I think it's working though, in terms of money, in terms of player retention. I think it's working because they've already like. Back to my point earlier, why are people who are hardcore players still playing Genshin then, right? Like, we have to answer this question. We have to answer this question, Techie. Is it not because of the sunk cost fallacy? Like Melvin Dyer is saying, it's sunk cost. HoYoverse lured these hardcore players in from year one, from patch 1.0, giving them the illusion, giving them the illusion that this game was going to a place where it's going to be centered around combat, centered around endgame boss fights. And I remember way back, we even heard people say like, oh, you know, Genshin was promising a guild system. I mean, that's all I got to do, right? Just shrug my shoulders like, well then, where's the guild system? Where's the future that they promise? Where is this, you know, where is this game? Was this like, honestly, for people who are in chat who started back on 1.0, did this game go in the direction that you thought it was going to go? Not that, you know, you anticipated, but like, just from how Genshin was promoting its contents and stuff, I think it's a stretch to say that, you know, Genshin. I think Genshin truly did manipulate its player base. They wanted you to get into the game. They want you to like invest time and money. And you see, here's the tricky thing. Genshin is designed to be a marathon. They want you to invest as long of a time in this game as possible. Just look at MTash. They made you spend so long in this game to the point where now if you want to quit, if you want to get up and leave, it's extremely hard because you can't even justify it to yourself, into your subconscious, to leave this game. You can't justify it. The amount of time for people, like if you're lucky, if it's just time. For the vast majority of people, it's money. And for even more, like even less people, but very important, like for the content creators, it's the network, the community that you've cultivated in this space. How can you walk away from that? Right? How can you walk away from that? It's just, it's borderline inhuman to ask people to be able to resist this type of manipulation that HoYoverse has laid down, you know, upon the player base. Market says, M-Tash is destroyed, man. You hate to see it. I remember seeing a comment earlier today about on one of my videos saying that M-Tash took a too emotional of an approach to Genshin Impact. The man was not just like addicted to the game. The man was also emotionally attached to the game. Because the game did change his life, right? That's the first thing we need to recognize. Like when we talk about M-Tash, the game changed his life. He's made millions. He's made more than like most people would make in their entire life in the span of 2 years just playing this game. His family is set. He owes, like, from this moment onwards till his dying breath, he will owe like most of his life to the success that he's had in Genshin Impact. So like, can you really blame the guy for being emotionally attached to Genshin? It borderline feels like he owes his life to Genshin. No, like, I'm not trying to oversell this, but it's true, because Genshin really, really set him up to succeed for the rest of his life. As long as he is smart with his money, he doesn't have to work a day in his life anymore. So I can't really blame the guy for being emotionally attached to a game that has done that for him, right? But at the same time, you know, it's definitely not healthy to do what he has done to himself when it comes to Genshin Impact. Toasty Moon says he cried when that HoYo interview was released. Yeah, because it feels like you were betrayed. Like, because it feels like the person who saved your life, who made you the person you are today, turned their back on you and kicked you in the nuts. You know, like, that's how M-Tash feels like. Can you imagine if you right now, somebody came, paid off your student loans, mentored you, gave you everything you needed to succeed, helped you build a business that's multi-million-dollar business for you without pretty much asking for anything in return. And one day, they stab you in your gut. I mean, that's how it feels like. Can you imagine? Somebody just came, a random dude comes up to you, pay off your student loan, like, you know, cover your medical bills, or like pick you up from the streets. You know, like, if your parents are sick right now, you need medical bills, you're working hard to pay off medical bills, they pay it off for you. They take care of your whole family. They help your siblings. They get through college. They help, like, they just set you up for life without asking for anything in return, and help you build an empire, a business, right? And then they stab you in the gut. I mean, that's how it kind of feels like for M-Tash. I know it's kind of not realistic to talk, but that's why you see this kind of emotional response, right? Nirupam says, man, hats off to Twanto for still having fun with the game and making amazing vids. I think that, like, just like there can only be one Genshin, there can also only be one Twanto, kind of, right? Because I'm not going to say it's easy to have fun in Genshin, but it's much, much easier to enjoy something when you have a lot of people enjoying it with you. It's the crowd effect. Twanto really has something amazing going for him, in that he has built a community with people who all enjoy, like, who are all having fun. And it's kind of like this, right? Yes, you can hit up multiple parties in one night. Let's say Friday night, you hit up 3-4 parties. But can you hit up 5? Can you hit up 10? Can you hit up 20 parties in one Friday evening? Probably not. At least most people can't. I'm sure some people can. But my point right now is, there's Twanto, there's Dish, and to an extent there's like Asian Guy, and there's maybe some other like for fun channels. Some of them have also died out, right? What's his name again? Akron? Do you guys remember Akron? He was like the guy who was running around doing like Chem 4 Barbara's beat Oceanid, Chem 4 Amber's beat, like, you know, the Pyro Cube, stuff like that, right? That's like, he used to make casual content for fun, but, you know, people just eventually outgrow this kind of stuff. Like, you got to be honest to yourself. Are you making this content because you enjoy it, or are you making it for the money? I think I have a lot of respect to, oh yeah, Anthony Chen as well. Like, I forgot about Anthony. Like, I have a lot of respect for people who are on the grind, even though they may not fully enjoy the type of content they are making, but they need to just stay focused and just keep making the content, keep pumping out the content, especially if every single video is pulling in thousands of dollars. You know, I mean, that's pretty good incentive to continue working hard and pushing out the content, right? So kudos to all the people who are finding success in the Genshin space, because I think it's, first and foremost, not easy to come out on top when the competition is so fierce. Other content creators such as Ziox, Brax, Sebi, they've cultivated a great space within the guide scene, and they're not going to let go. Like, really, like, it would be ludicrous of them to let go of what they currently have in that space. So it's just like, when it comes to Genshin Impact, look how life-changing it has been for not just MTash. Like, listen, MTash making millions is just one guy, man. Like, I think there's at least 20 content creators in the space of Genshin Impact that has crossed the $1 million mark. Like, look, you guys might not believe it, but I think there's at least 20, maybe more, content creators who has made $1 million playing Genshin. Right? It's crazy to think about. And these people would be crazy to give up that. Like, they could work for the next 20 years and not make this kind of money. Maybe I'm talking pre-tax. I don't know what tax bracket these people are in. I don't know how good of a of a financial expert they have. If you find a great what's the name? I know in Chinese it's called 会计师. What is the, oh my goodness, what is the name of the people who do your taxes for you? My goodness, I'm drawing a blank here. I know it in Chinese. That's weird, but I don't. Accountant. Yeah, if you have a good accountant, like, you guys might think paying $5,000 for your accountant is like too much, but it depends on the kind of documents you're having them draft up for you and the kind of like income. Like, if you have multiple income sources, and it's probably in your best interest to get a good accountant. Pay the money, pay them $5,000 so they can save you $500,000 is kind of the idea. I see Zeals was the coolest of all. Yeah, Zeals was just chill, and he just said it like how it was. Like I said, there are a few people who inspired me to make Genshin content. Tectone inspired me to do daily upload. Zeals inspired me to speak the truth, and only the truth, and stay like relaxed about things. Take a level-headed approach. Don't get emotional. Don't get like overly attached. And you know, once in a while some degeneracy is good. That's the thing I like about Zeals, right? Like, he was okay throwing a little bit of degeneracy out there once in a while, and I'll be lying if I said that I did not base a cool 50% of my approach to content creation from Zeals, right? So it's just, it's cool to see that these people have moved on and found success, but it also breaks my heart to see Tectone, MTash. Oh yeah, MTash also inspired me to take a more casual approach to making content for casual players, right? Like, you guys wouldn't think my content is catered towards hardcore players, would you? I don't think you guys would. Moonlight says, sorry Walrus, I forgot today's live stream, but hi chat, how's your day going? Mine is okay so far. Don't worry about it, Moonlight. Like, people here have, like, I've come to realize people who tune into my chats are very manageable, very mature people at the very least. So for the most part, we don't have problems. It breaks my heart to see Tectone the way he is right now. I think in many ways Tectone has lost his way when it comes to content creation. Or, like, here's my theory, and this might be getting a little too personal, and it's like I'm in no place to say this, or I think Tectone is trying to move away from being a pure gaming channel. I think Tectone is taking a lot of inspiration from Asmongold, whereas Asmongold can play games. Asmongold can sit and talk in his backyard for 50 minutes and upload that to YouTube uncut, and people would still watch it. I think Tectone in many ways wants to get to that point where he's talking about sharing life stories. He's talking about life. He's talking about things that are not game related. He can go out and have fun that's like not game related, and people will still watch him. But unfortunately, that has not proven to be true. Asmongold can get like 400k views on a video when it's of a new game that just come out. He can get the same amount of views when he's just sitting in his backyard talking about, why you should shave your back hair or something like that. I don't know. He can talk about the most random stuff and people will still watch him. And I think Tectone takes a lot of inspiration from that. Tectone doesn't want to just be the gacha game guy. He doesn't want to just be I'm quoting him, okay? It's not me saying it. He doesn't want to be known as the bald bald gamer dude who's like loud and obnoxious. He doesn't want that connotation. So he's trying very hard to use the success. Like, I also think that Tectone likely knows that he's peaked in terms of gacha games. I don't think you'll ever see a gacha game as success as Genshin Impact, right? As successful. So he's really leveraging his current audience to kind of push in a different direction in terms of his content style, and it's not working out. It hasn't been working out for him, but I wish him the best. I think he's likely not just inspired me. He's inspired a lot of other content creators to at least give this thing a try. Like, I likely won't be able to make this my livelihood, but at the very least, I can pay for my expenditures in Genshin with this. I'm not trying to flex or anything, but I'm just saying, like, at the very least, just me sharing my honest opinions about Genshin, I'm able to pay off what I spend in Genshin by playing Genshin and making videos about Genshin. I think it's cool. Nirupam Malaya Walrus, your thoughts on the whole Rich controversy? I actually haven't looked into it. What happened to Rich? What happened to Rich? Yeah, I know there were some allegations. Tectone, like, I saw somebody like I saw some clips channels was like doing something about, I saw this clickbait thumbnail. It's like Tectone kind of sad, and the thumbnail said Rich was my friend or something like that. But I never clicked into it because like, oh, it's just drama, and for the most part it just feels like blown out of proportion kind of stuff. But what happened? I'm actually curious. What happened to Rich? SA allegation. Oh, yeah. I don't like. Hey. Okay, when that kind of stuff comes to light, like your online era is coming to an end very quick. Like, it's like going 200 miles an hour and hitting a fucking brick wall. Oh my god. Oh, like, yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail about that. Like, sure, it might be allegations, but I really don't think people would file these kind of allegations against you if they were unfounded. So, like, the man probably did something. And, if you're anything but just a regular human being, I think, I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, if you're doing stuff that, people are throwing allegations at you, you probably deserve it. So, people, all right, Moonlight says, Walrus, get Shogun out of there. I mean, Shogun seems like she's having a good time. I'm just saying, like, I think Kristan says, but you don't need proof though. A girl can just say, yeah. Okay, I know that, but my point is, how come not every girl is doing that to their guy then? Right? Like, Rich has to have done something to warrant this type of allegation. Sure, like, he might be unlucky, but more often than not, like, sure, there are cases where it's like, okay, the girl was really the one who was messed up, but they're very far and few in between. And I don't think people would just come after you for no reason. Like, why would they do that? That's what I was trying to get at, right? Like, if somebody wants to screw with you, you probably screwed with them in the past. Okay, take it from a 50-year-old walrus here. People very rarely, only like the really unhinged ones, but trust me, you can go for like 10 lifetimes and you probably won't come across one of these people. Is there, like, more often than not, if somebody screws with you, you probably screwed with them in the past. I'm just saying, like, very rarely, like very, very rarely do people just screw with you for no reason. Very rarely. It's very rare. And you're gonna tell me that listen, it's rarer than just opening this up, going here, clicking a wish, and getting a 5-star, right? I'm just saying. See, I didn't get it, and neither will you. I can guarantee you, everybody in chat right now can go into their game, go do one summon, and you're not gonna get a 5-star. And I'm telling you, it's much rarer than that you're come into contact with a person that will want to mess with you, even though you've never done anything to them in your whole life. It's like walking down the street and somebody just comes up and punches you in the face. Has that ever happened to you? Man, listen, I just hate it so much when I'm chilling, like, minding my own business, walking down the street, and somebody just runs up to me and punches me right across the face for no reason. Oh my god, can you believe that? So when these kind of allegations, and like SA allegations aren't light. They could have easily said, something else that's not as detrimental to their, livelihood, career, and that's like, as a human, like this, you can face jail time, right? Like, forget about internet clout. These type of allegations can escalate to something that's way worse than like losing subscribers. So when it's something this serious, because the person who's throwing these allegations also has to face consequences if, it turns out that person you're accusing is innocent. So I find it very difficult to believe that people would just throw, like most people would just throw this stuff around casually just to hurt somebody, right? So that's what I mean when I say, if somebody accuses you of this, you most likely deserve it. You did something wrong. Okay. So another thing EroticWalruss was saying was where was it? I was reading it earlier. Saying like, are we just gonna be okay with mid units? Something like that. And like we've talked about this in the past, is that for some reason, mid units are a necessity in Genshin Impact. And I don't know if I need to make a video on this, but I think I need to make a video on this. Like, why mid units are an absolute necessity in Genshin Impact. You know what? Before I say anything, chat, can you guys justify it? I know a lot of you guys don't like it, right? I know a lot of you guys hate it that these units are mid, but can you guys try to justify, for like, just as a thought experiment, like, humor me here. Try to think from the other perspective. Try your best. It's like, do you guys know what mod UN is? Like, Model United Nation. Do you guys know that? I don't know how many people know that here. When I used to go to school, there used to be this thing called Model United Nation, and what they would do is they would give all participants like you would be randomly assigned a country that you represent. It's freaking hilarious. Like if you think about it, it's freaking hilarious. You get these 7th, 8th graders representing like North Korea. Like I'm not even kidding you. I am not kidding you. I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, Model United Nation is, imagine if you're in the US. I mean, imagine if you are the leader or the representative of a nation. No. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you. Model United Nation is a legit thing, okay? Imagine if you are the representative of an entire nation, their political views, their agenda, the direction, and you get to vote on like global issues and stuff like that. And you got these 7th graders who just got randomly assigned as like Siberia, and then you got like 9th graders who are now assigned as Tibet, and then you got like 6th graders who represent China. I'm telling you guys, it's messed up, but it's freaking hilarious if you think about it. Like. But you don't get to pick your country, by the way. If you participate in Model United Nation, you are assigned a country. You are assigned a country, and you have to do research. You have to like understand their perspective. So what I'm asking you guys right now is, yes, you may not agree with what Hoyoverse is pushing out in terms of character quality, but try to change your perspective. Try to imagine yourself and support mid units. Right? So go. In chat, please tell me why, if there is a reason, why our mid units are like an absolute necessity in Genshin Impact. I'm trying to understand where Walrus is going with it. No, I'm just trying to tell you guys to like change your perspective. Pretend, if you have to, fake it. Pretend like you are somebody who supports more mid characters, even if you hate it. Just for the next minute or two, just pretend it, fake it. I mean, you guys got it. Like that's pretty much it. That's pretty much exactly it, right? I like most of the points that I've ever highlighted in the past. You guys are pretty much saying it. You cannot have power creep. So if you don't have mid units, what are you gonna make? Great units? Okay, that's power creep. No matter how you spin it, like a good unit, power creep some aspect of the game, right? That's just how it is. It's unavoidable. If you want to make a good unit that everybody wants and everybody thinks is good, it's generally agreed upon to be a good and strong unit, you are power creeping something. My goodness, my nose. I need to... I think I have a cold. I'm pretty sure I have a cold. My nose is a leaking faucet. I think having mid units is the main reason for all these mid units is to control power creep. And having bad units, I mean, bad is a very harsh word in terms of some characters, right? Yaimiko was could be argued to have been bad on release, but nowadays she's very good, right? I think some people would even put Yaimiko in like B tier when she first came out, and now they probably have her high A. Maybe, you know, some people might even have her in S tier. Those people are delusional, but you know, nonetheless, she has moved up. Characters in Genshin don't stay in their tier list permanently, and honestly, I should be doing a character tier list every single patch. Genshin's tier list should be updated with every single character release, including 4 stars, because sometimes it just takes one character to kind of turn things around. Really, it really just takes one character sometimes to reshuffle like 20% of the tier list around. Neuroprime, Maliak. I'm just gonna say Neuroprime because I can't pronounce the second one. So what was I have? Kaching and Nahida, please rank them. Like in my mind, Kaching used to be like probably a B tier character before the Dendro thing came out. And then she moved up to like a low to mid A tier character once Dendro came out, and now I think she's a solid A tier character, if not high A. Definitely above characters like Diluc. Jabba, don't go to the garbage. No. She's definitely higher than Diluc, who was like a mid to low A tier character. So Nahida is like a solid S tier character. Nahida is a solid S tier character, one of the best in the game, arguably top 3 right now. Just saying, you know. I think Nahida's probably top 3 characters in the game. Kazuha still very strong. So, you know, like I think an updated tier list, like just take it casually, people. You don't have to just be like, oh, this tier list sucks because you misplaced this character who's supposed to be in like C tier, now you place them in B tier. You don't have to take these tier lists very seriously, but these tier lists needs to be adjusted with every single character release. Like that's the thing about Genshin. A character can feel very mid when they're first released, but you give them like 4 or 5 patches and suddenly they can feel very strong. I don't know if HoYoverse plans for this kind of glow up for all the characters, but certainly they've done it for multiple characters in the past already. B says, I don't know, the reshuffling of entire Electro class with Dendro introduction was unique. They don't plan to introduce new reactions again. Yeah, but remember, they instead of introducing new reactions, they've introduced a new concept of in Nilou. Nilou took Bloom and turned it into Super Bloom, right? So who's to say you can't have Super Melt with a character in the future? Who's to say you can't have super conduct? Or you know what I mean, right? Like super crystallize. Chris Tang is 鼻血还是鼻涕？鼻涕。So it's like, who's to say you won't get that in the future? So like, I think that's the direction HoYoverse wants to take. Listen, HoYoverse very rarely introduces concept into the game, like major concepts such as combat related, without finding a way to milk more out of this. So mark my words, I think there likely will be another Nilou-esque character in the future, maybe even within the year. So yeah. Wishes says, didn't Mihoyo confirm Dainsleif as an eventual playable character with this element? Well, the thing is, look at what they did to Scaramouche, right? Who's to say they won't just make Dainsleif like a cryo character, or like make him an Anemo character, or make him a Hydro character, or something like that. Chris says, well, sorry for asking, but how come you look like Korean and Chinese at the same time? Maybe I asked you if I'm just curious. Here's the thing, okay? Because of my, I think, face shape and my eye shape, I think that's what makes me look Korean. Chinese, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know. I've gotten people to say that I look more Korean than Chinese. Definitely. Like I get more Korean than Chinese. But I'm actually from Mongolia. Now people will be like, Cap. No, not Cap. My father's side was from Mongolia. And my mother's side was from Hunan. So I'm actually half Mongolian. Weird, right? Like that like how this stuff works. thought Walrus was gonna say Russia. No, no, no. Genghis Walrus. Inner Mongolia. Yeah, Inner Mongolia. But like it's easier to say Mongolia because Inner Mongolia gets political. Inner Mongolia. Yeah, because Inner Mongolia is part of China. But like last time I went to Inner Mongolia, like most of the street signs and like the shop names, they were all written in Mongolian. So it's like that place is weird. That place is really weird. Are you indigenous? I don't think I am. Because we're part of Inner Mongolia, which has already been indoctrinated by the, like the Chinese culture, the Han culture, stuff like that. But I'm sure I have some go back a couple more bloodlines, couple more generations. I'm sure we have family members who were probably indigenous to that area. But yeah. Oh my goodness. I think mid-tier characters in Genshin is so damn necessary. Yet it drives me very like insane to have to play with them on their first release. It honestly feels like it's so funny because people in the future will say like, oh, if you didn't play them or if you didn't believe in them when they suck, you don't deserve them when they rock. So it's hilarious because Genshin is quite literally doing this to you. Like, oh, you didn't believe in them on their first release. Well, now you want us to rerun them? Well, too bad, right? We're not gonna rerun this character for another like 3-4 patches. It's frustrating to see these people win, right? I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it's funny because people be saying that, and Hoyoverse probably saw that was like, damn, that's a great model to live by. Let's make all our characters like that. Yeah, Kokomi was the biggest example. I think Kazuha Kokomi was when people said that the most. Be like, oh, you didn't care about him, you didn't care about her when she was doo doo, but now you want her because she's meta and all. Like the game needs a character like Kokomi. Oh well, too bad. Elliot says Eula is great, but they should have not made her a physical DPS. I think physical DPS just lacks development. I'm sure in the future, with more characters in the category and leans towards that playstyle, she can maybe feel better. I mean, people still play Eula. C6 Eula for the longest time. I don't know if she is still now, but for the longest time, people was saying she's one of the best C6 in the game. I think the community has also been kind of trying to grasp what Hoyoverse is doing. Much less people nowadays are crapping on characters on release. Like, sure, they can be disappointed, but it's a very dangerous move to call a character bad immediately. I mean, even characters like Scaramouche, you want to say he's bad, but like if you fully invest into him, he's not necessarily bad. Yeah, he's weak in comparison to some of the other options, right? Like we can say that, but you can't say he's bad. Even though if like by definition, that's what bad is it not? Like, it's funny, right? Like, we can say, oh, he's weak compared to all these other characters, but he's not bad. I think I honestly feel like it's just the connotation. Rework superconduct. If you guys want physical meta, you first need maybe like a physical buffer. Likely you need a physical damage buffer, and you need at least 2 to 3 more physical oriented DPSs. And I think the next physical DPS that comes out has to come out with their buffer. I think so, because if you just solely release another physical DPS with no buffer or no kind of quality of life unit to physical carries, they're just gonna fall flat on their face. And you know, like, content creators will talk about it regardless. But oh my god, another physical DPS, so good, and then they'll drop it. The second the whole clout train is over, they'll drop it in a heartbeat. They need a physical damage oriented buffer or quality of life unit. So yeah, it's likely not going to happen anytime soon though, because they have so much to worry about. Right now they need to finish the Burgeon and Burning comp with Dehya most likely. Then they need to move likely towards something like I honestly think they need to do something for Crystallize. I've said this in previous live streams, so I'm going to stick to that. And I think after they do something for Crystallize, they're going to do something for physical carries. And then once they're done with that, we should be like midway through Fontaine, if not already like done with Fontaine. Then we go back. Okay, here's my prediction. Then we go back to the pyro stuff, because right now Vaporize and Melt, they're the strongest reaction, but in terms of multipliers. But have you guys realized there hasn't been many like Melt Vaporize comps that are around? And I think that's going to change once we go back to once we get to the pyro region. I think that's when we're going to get some like the best pyro character that can synergize in like all Vaporize, Melt, Burgeon comps. I think the pyro archon is going to elevate Melt, especially Melt comps, because I think Melt comps are heavily underutilized, and I think that's where we're also going to see a character that likely power creeps Xiangling. Stuff like that. So they're going to go back to the old. And after the pyro region, what's the next region? Then it's the cryo region, right? Then we're done. Yeah. Then we're done, and then after the cryo region, it's gonna be Celestia. Stuff like that. Yeah, so all in all, I think that's generally the direction we're going. So physical changes are likely coming. It's just not anytime soon. Okay. Oh yeah, Conria, and then Celestia. Wait, is Celestia gonna be after Conria? I think Conria and Celestia might be like just summarized into one. They might do this whole Celestia arc and then have a Conria subsection of the story to it. Will the game shut down after the 7 regions are out? I mean, that depends on Hoyoverse. Does Hoyoverse want to milk it out, or do they just think like, okay, we've completed our tasks here. Thank you guys so much for sharing this journey with us over the last 7, 8, 10 years or whatever, and hope to see you guys in future titles. And peace. They might do that. Or if the game is still pulling in billions, they might just keep it running. They might milk it. They might get writers to start writing a new act. Maybe the travelers will move on to a new world. Stuff like that. But it's very difficult to get us involved in through a whole. I think once the Conria arc ends, like the Celestia Conria arc ends, that's when a lot of people are going to jump ship. They're going to be like, I'm done. The whole sunk cost fallacy will end for a lot of people there. People will be like, I got what I came for. I found out the end of the story. I stayed committed for 10 years. I'm out. I'm not doing this again, right? Or they're going to take Genshin very casually, and they might, like, Hoyoverse might see a huge dip in player base and then decide to, like, not update the game as often, or they might go just as hard and try to pull in a new wave of players. I don't know. Who knows? It's like Avengers Endgame. After that, it's just a whole set of post story. Yeah, like after Avengers Endgame, I feel like Marvel kind of lost a little bit of magic to it, right? Just give us a damn geo for Shatter Comp. Shatter Comp is really like copium. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the ways to play Genshin, I think Shatter Comp is probably the most copium out of them all. Is However going to be more generous if games up? No, I don't think Hoyoverse is going to care so much about Blue Protocol because Blue Protocol has no mobile relevancy. Blue Protocol likely will not come to mobile. That's the problem. I think if Blue Protocol had mobile crossplay and it has like Southeast Asia servers and all like all these global servers, Korea, China, Russia, NA, EU, Southeast Asia, you know, hell, maybe even make an African server, or just give every region their own server, cross-platform, PS5, Xbox, PC, mobile, which is never going to happen, right? It's either PlayStation or Xbox, because these companies will make sure that they have an exclusivity clause. Like, if you sign with us, you can't sign with the other. It's either you sign with PlayStation or you sign with Xbox. It's very difficult. I don't even know off the top of my head a game that has both and is cross-platform with PC. So it's PC, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile. You need to, like, maybe Nintendo Switch. I don't know. Since it's Bandai Namco, maybe they can get it on the Switch. Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, you just want it on as many platforms and make sure it's cross-platform playable. I think one of the good things they're doing for Blue Protocol is the fact that it's a shared world. It's just like one giant server. You don't have like a million different servers. It's one giant ass server in one big ass world, which is going to do a lot for immersion. But you're also going to have people sitting in login queues for like 5 days just trying to log into the game if you don't prepare for the amount of traffic you're going to get on launch. Hectic says, dang, that's sad. We need someone to kick Hoyo's ass sometime. I don't think anybody is capable of kicking Hoyo's ass. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't think such a game exists out there. Nor such a company. Like, I know it's very cliche to say Genshin is too big to fail, but it's quite true. I don't think Genshin can fail. I think even if Hoyoverse tried, it's going to be difficult. Like, obviously, if they just close the servers, wow, Genshin failed. Or, like, they released a very bad character, like, you know, like, I mean, I get it, right? If they wanted to, they could do it. But, like, any competent developer is going to struggle to kill Genshin at this point, because as long as you just take the same formula and run with it for the next 5-6 years, you'll still make, like, tens of hundreds of millions. Right? Even if Genshin never innovates ever again, till they close the servers, they just continue releasing mid-tier characters, I guarantee you they'll still make hundreds of millions every year. It's true. You don't need to innovate once you have a big enough audience. They will innovate for you. You release another another mid-tier character, you're gonna have 80-90% of the players base defending your character for you. Genshin doesn't even have to fight their battles. Genshin has like stands to fight for them. They clap Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, like it's not even close. Like Don't okay. If you want to see Hoyoverse fall, it's not going to happen with Genshin. Okay, maybe Honkai Star Rails comes out and it flops. Like that's the kind of stuff you have to look towards. Don't look at Genshin. It's only going to break your heart if you think somebody's going to come along and teach Genshin Impact a lesson. It's at this point, it's borderlining a cult. The Genshin fandom is borderline a cult. Like, how do you take that down? You cannot. And it's a digital cult. Like, people outside make fun of us, but truly, if you look at it from a third person's perspective, it is truly terrifying how delusional this community is. The vast majority of the people in this community is. And it makes sense. You know why? Because it's mostly children. It's mostly young people who are like still figuring things out. Like they're 14, 15, they're edgy, they'll say whatever the hell they want, especially being Gen Z or like what's is it like post Gen Z now? These people are very unhinged. Like they'll say anything. They don't give a damn. They'll like I've gotten some messages from people that just like holy smokes, you would think these people were like seasoned criminals, like war criminals, like but no, they're like 15-year-old edgelords who thinks it's cool to spout this kind of nonsense. But these are the kind of people who are defending Genshin. These are people who are not driven by really logic, they're driven by emotion. And how do you fight, how do you combat hormonal soldiers driven by emotion in an era where they've grown up on the internet? They like you guys remember that quote from Bane from Batman? It's like you merely adapted the internet. Like right, we millennials, boomers, coomers, whatever you call it, like zoomers. I'm not zoomers. Millennials, boomers, Gen X, Gen Y. We merely adapted the internet. These motherfuckers were born in it, molded by it. They didn't leave the computer until they were freaking old enough to walk. Their parents literally put a screen in front of them to distract them from like 1 or 2 years old. That's the kind of players, like people you're trying to fight your wars against in Genshin. You can't win. I'm just saying, like that's the kind of heat that the bulk of the masses is built up by these type of players. So that's why a channel like mine will never really like, as long as I don't bend to their rules, I a channel like mine will never really take off. Like I can start backing up my claims with numbers. They won't listen because it's not about like it's not about the truth. It's really about like, are you going to align with their agenda? That's the vast majority of people who consume the contents here. And I'm okay with that. I think it's fine. These people eventually will grow up. They will. They always do. Give them another like 10 years or so, they'll probably grow up, grow out of it. But then they'll just be replaced by a new wave of people who are probably even more unhinged and more disassociated. Yeah, facts don't matter. It's about a feeling. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good, accurate representation of Genshin. It's about the vibe for these people. It's really about the vibe. For people of this generation, like if you ask them what is the vibe, they can't tell you, but they'll know when they get the vibe. They'll know, but they can't explain it. They can't put into words what vibe they're talking about. But once they're vibing, they're vibing. And if you're not on the same frequency as them, you ain't vibing. And if you ain't vibing, you trash. Lord of Sloth says getting old be weird from my generation. Yeah, it's when you pass a certain age and you start having to interact with people one generation behind you, it starts feeling very, very weird. Like you guys see it because kids who grew up in the digital age versus people who grew up like within a non-digital age, very different. The way your brains work, what you are stimulated by, you know, like your interests and stuff. Like even people who are 5-6 years apart from each other could have severe different. Like if you were born in 1996, 1997 versus if you were born in 2002, 2003, huge difference. I think that's probably the biggest discrepancy. Is that era, roughly that era, has a huge difference. So yeah, Genshin has mostly people born after the 2000s playing it. But Sloth is, I'm almost 30. My own friends, 4 years younger than me, massive difference in how they see the world. Yeah, exactly. Kyla Venus is 2004 here. Kyla, I don't mean to shit on your generation. I really don't. I'm just saying you guys have a very different approach to life than people born earlier than like 1998. I think 1998, 1999 is where most people draw the line. People who born after that are just have a different perspective on life. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, like I think roughly that's where you draw the line because it's really the dot-com boom which happened in the 2000, right? Like I don't remember, but like roughly that's what happened. And when the internet kind of came into existence, everything changed. Jesus Roman says, I'm 2006 and I feel pretty mature, but I understand where you're coming from. Listen, Jesus Roman, if you can sit here and withstand my talks and my perspective and my videos, like if you ever came, I don't know if you just came across this live stream or you've actually seen my videos. If you can sit through one of my videos with me just talking nonsense, like I would say you're probably more mature. Is this like, am I circle jerking myself? But I'm just saying I don't make content for people with like short attention spans or people who are driven by emotion. Because I mean, sure, if you come across a few of my videos, I am also driven by emotion. Like I can be biased too. But the vast majority of my content is cultivated, it's crafted for people who wants a conversation, for people who are seeking out a conversation, as opposed to for people who wants me to like force feed them positivity. Does that make sense? Like I'm not here to provide that type of content. And if you can consume my content, and if you maybe even get something out of it apart from, you know, like a vibe, I would say you're probably more mature than than most Zoomers. And if you are more mature than, but like biologically, then that makes sense because I make my content for people probably like 25 plus. I'm just saying, like, I think I make content for people who are between the ages of 25 to 65. Above 65, I don't even know, like, because I think I have a huge dissociation with those people as well. So I don't know what they're thinking. But if you're between the ages of 25 and 65, I think you likely will find my content somewhat enjoyable. Somewhat enjoyable. Azra says, essentially, Walrus isn't here to validate people's purchases. Exactly. I'm here to make you feel bad. I'm here to make you feel bad about your purchases, for the most part. I mean, I do validate some purchases. Like, in some cases, if you invested into Nahida, Raiden Shogun, Zhongli, Yelan, Xingqiu, Hu Tao, Ayaka, Kazuha, even at some point, Venti, right? These are all great characters. Bennett. I think you made a smart choice. Diona, I think, is also a very solid choice. Kokomi. And nowadays, we can look back and say, yeah, Miko was the right choice too. So, like, oftentimes, I don't feel like I need to sugarcoat things for people on the internet, right? If you're on the internet, you best damn hope that you're here for like unfiltered content, like especially for Genshin, when you're spending so much resources, time to build a character. Don't you want that character to be worthwhile? I mean, I guess you can easily just say like, no, I don't care about it being worthwhile. I want people to tell me that my character is good, that I'm good, I'm important, right? And the decisions I've made in this game is justified. I think a lot of people want that comfort, and the fact that I'm not able to provide that comfort means that I'm the villain now. It's not the company who designed this character to be like this. No, it's me. You're the villain, Walrus, for not siding with my emotions. It's tough. I'm telling you, it's tough, but I think what I'm doing is necessary to have me enjoy the creative process when it comes to making content. If I sit here and just shoot out blind positivity and every character can work, like, I know they can work, man. Like, look, I'm not dumb. I may be slow, maybe erotic, but I'm not stupid. I know they can work. Right? I know Sino is good if you get him to level 90 and invest like Nahida and all these other stuff and build the best team, like get what's her name again, Kuki Shinobu, and like it just like yeah, I know it works. I know. Okay, people don't need to tell me that because I know it. But what I'm highlighting is like, when there's better options out there, why should I have to bend myself backwards to make this character work? If you want to make this, like, and I say it in the videos too, most people don't make it because they leave the second I say this character is subpar, they'll leave. But I say, if you want this character to work, invest into them. There are teams that can make them shine, and sometimes I even give examples, right? But that's not the point of the video, is it? The video is to review, compare, and analyze the character to what? To their peers. Right? To their peers. Sino, compared to their peers, like, he's a DPS. Some would even argue he's a hyper carry, somebody who hogs field time, who stays on the field for a long time. And what is he designed to do? To do damage. Okay, he's not your therapist. He's not your husbando as much as you want to believe. He's not your husbando. He's a damage carry who is designed, and again, I repeat myself, to do damage. So who are his peers? Other damage carries. Who are some great damage carries? Ayaka. Some will even argue Caesar Raiden. Some will even argue, right, like Hu Tao, so like Ganyu. These are all damage carries. Zhao, Ito, right? These are all damage-oriented carries. And if you guys want to get more specific, compare him to someone like Kaching, which he also, in some areas, not all, in some areas, falls short of. And Kaching is a character that's been around for 2 years and counting at this point, right? So given all these things, can you really say Sino is a good character? Is he a game-changing character? Is he a revolutionary character? Is he a character that redefines what it means to be an elite? No. And does he have to be? No. But it's disingenuous to not say it like how it is. Sino is a mid character that is designed to whale bait people who have been eyeing him for a long time, right? There are people who've been saving for Sino for over a year. There are people who want Sino to be strong, and he can be strong if you invest in more of his weapon, his constellations. So Hoyoverse gets more money. You get a character that feels strong. That's it. Tell it like how it is. He is not a game-changing character. Now, a lot of you guys would say, like, Walrus, then what are game-changing characters? Then no character is game-changing. There are game-changing characters. Nahida is a game-changing character. Once a year, you'll get an Archon. I highly recommend you pick that character up, because not only is it insanely broken in comparison to other characters, it also offers new playstyles, which means it's more fun for you, right? It's more versatile. You can try a bunch of different teams with them, and that's arguably more fun. So You know, but people don't want that. People want me to say, this is what people want to hear, right? Sino is insane, people. Like, this guy is just cracked to the teeth. Oh my goodness. Like, he has this fast, lightning, like, inspired play style with hard hits every time, you know, this symbol comes out on the screen. You just tap your E and he, like, thunder shocks the dome. My goodness, this character is so unbelievably strong. And pair him with Nahida, like, I can't believe what they did to Electro. This character revolutionizes the way I see this game. He is so cute as well. My goodness, look at him and his tanned body. Like, oh my goodness, it's like an Egyptian god, and his Anubis inspired design makes me feel like I'm part of this culture that enriches my Genshin experience. Like, that's what they want me to say. That's what they want everybody to say. They just want this character to be like, my goodness, he's a walking embodiment of perfection. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. And for every character, too. Because Genshin is interesting in how segregated and how, like, and they did it to themselves. It's just like how Ganyu mains refuse to interact with Ayaka mains, how Hu Tao mains thinks that Yoimiya mains are just inferior. It's like, Genshin does this to you. Like, once you become a Scaramouche main, likely you're gonna think Zhao mains are cringe or something like that. Like, it pits you against each other. So when it comes to Sino, like, I don't know, because I stopped tuning into this kind of stuff because it's just really, really dumb in my opinion. But like, I don't know if Sino mains like are at war with Kaching mains or something like that. But you know, it's weird to me that the community isn't more connected. Ganyu mains have a silent dislike for Ayaka mains, but it's super unspoken. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, what's the deal? Why can't people just play more than one character? Why can't you enjoy both Ayaka and Ganyu? They're designed for different purposes in the game. Aswar15 says, now Warriors, I would know you're capping if you said Sino was a damage god because he's a dude and Hoyoverse doesn't do that, but he is a lot of fun to me. I'm happy with getting him. Yeah, but like, that's borderline how people want content creators to talk about every. I think, okay, here's the thing. What I've also realized is I'm also misinterpreting this in a way, is that they don't want me to say they're bad, even though they themselves know it. Deep down, they know it. They don't want me to say it, but they want to consume content that makes bad characters feel good. Does that make sense? Like, I'm sure if I made videos building Sino to be insane, they'll watch it. That's kind of like the formula I Win to Lose does. He'll take these characters that seemingly is average, and he'll like eat food buffs, he'll like go crazy, get a like fish for a huge number, and I think people enjoy that. Right, so like, in that sense, I'm disconnected with the audience. I'm not just here talking about audience. Like, I have flaws too. Like, I could make content that leans towards that kind of preference, right? But then again, I Win to Lose is dropping like thousands of dollars per banner, where I'm dropping sometimes none. I get the character, I run what I have, which is pretty much what the free-to-play experience is. You get what you have, you slap it on them, and arguably I have a lot more than what most free-to-plays would have. Slap it on them, try it out. Does it work? Oh, it doesn't. Well, unlucky. Feels kind of bad. Oh, I have to invest into this, I have to invest into that. Oh, I have to do this and that and this and that just to make them work. Well, that's too much work. I'm not gonna do it. But I'll let you know, like, hey, if you want to play him, build him up. You know, he still works. Is an okay character. It's fine. Gets the job done. Nothing to worry about. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Right? Newer problems says, I Win to Lose has good content, but it's hella bit. Yeah, but it has to. It has to. Right? Like I said, his whole formula is making mid characters feel broken. Like, that's its formula. I Win to Lose can make every character look broken. He'll package it really well. He shows a lot of comparisons. He'll make a lot of like average characters look very broken. So it's like, the guy is quite literally famous off of that formula. I think a lot of people go to I Win to Lose to feel justified in investing into mid tier characters. It's not wrong to invest into mid tier characters. Like invest into whoever you want, but it's very delusional if you expect other people to praise your character. And I think that's why Genshin Impact has these communities, sub communities of people who just stays in their shells, right? They never leave their communities because they know the second they leave the Sino mains community, people are just gonna trash on the character, or Scaramouche main community, people are just gonna trash on the character. That's why they stay within their bubbles so they don't get hurt, so they don't have to like deal with other people trash talking them. Which I think it's fair. It's fair to, because if you are somebody who doesn't want conflict, you want to avoid this argumentative like process every day, you would stay in your circle too, because you know people here understands you. Kathy says a balance between that practicality and what will make me smile when I log on, and I think that's a great approach. If you like Scaramouche, if you think Scaramouche is a cool character, and you know you have fun when you log on to play with Scaramouche, his combat style, right? And and you have the means to build him and to invest into Yelan and make you happy every day, I think that's a great investment. But it's disingenuous to take that and go to other people and say, like, you should do that too. This will make you happy, right? Like that's not the right approach. But if you're happy, then good. Glitch variables, like if a character is powerful but has a crappy playstyle like Ayaka and Ganyu, it's really not worth your investment. Like, why pay for a character, then have to feel it's a job just to play them? Agreed, agreed. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Claymore characters. I think I've said this in the past. I really enjoy fast-paced action. I like it when it's fast and swift. I like speed. I like lightning. I like electricity. That's the kind of place I'll have. I don't like claymores because they feel clunky. They can be strong, but they're not my preferred playstyle. Okay? And I'm sure this is an example a lot of people can feel. Some people are the exact opposite. Some people like slower but hard hitting hits. Some people like double-handed hammer, right? Some people just like that hard hit, like warriors. They like these berserkers. Hunky, bulky characters, slower but hits like a truck. I'm the opposite. I really like fast hits. So yeah, that's my bias. So when I test Claymore characters, I try my best not to talk about how slow they are, because I know that's not really like, it doesn't really matter unless they are like really slow. Unless slow is a characteristic of this character. As for 15s, I like fast dual wielding sword users. Well, might I introduce you to Tartaglia? Mr. Worldwide, you're in luck. Glitch variables as if Mihoyo wants my money, they only need to release an axe wooden character. You see? Personally, axes are not my thing. I think they're too big. I think like using them it feels a little clunky, and usually axe users hit a little slower. But you see, here Glitch is willing to put forth money if they if Hoyoverse releases axe users. Uh, so here's the thing, right? Hoyoverse said they're not gonna add a new reaction or add a new element. Dendro was the last element. Do you think they're gonna add a new weapon though? Glitch variable says people forget axes have single hand variants. Well, here's the thing, right? I don't think single handed axe are sexy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I might be alone on this, but I think if you're going for a single handed axe, it's cooler and easier to market to create daggers like kunais. You know, I think they're just easier to market, and it's like it fits in the category of weeaboo and anime. Like that's just like my opinion. It's like if you make a dagger, you in the future you can make like cool dagger weapons that people can pull on, and then you can have characters that uses kunais. You can have a karambit. You can have like a butterfly. I know Genshin will never have butterfly knives and karambits, but you can have daggers. You can have kunais. You can have like you know, you can get very creative. But single-handed axes just feels very very non sexy. Honestly, if they added a new weapon type, a dagger or a dual wield weapon would likely be the easiest to market. As I said, I hope they add the dual swords of Blue Protocol because I'm not feeling dual axes. Me too. Like me seeing the axes makes me feel kind of sad. Glitch variables, they could sell me an axe skin, then I would catch up. I think like there will be certain characters, let's say let's say a claymore character, maybe they could have like some sort of like an axe like weapon, maybe, I don't know. But I think that or like if you want single single axe, maybe in the future they'll make like a variant of some sort. You know, weapons can have variants. Dude, what about boomerangs? How are you gonna boomerangs is a cool idea, but like do you know that weapon that has like a scythe, like a small sickle, but like on a chain, on chains? Like if you're gonna make boomerangs, this weapon would be much sexier to market, right? Like you just have a sickle on chains and you just like whip it out and like it comes back and you go like, you know, like it's just how Hoyoverse sees the future of this weapon type. And I think that the sexier they are, the easier it is to get otakus fanboying over this type of stuff, the more likely they're going to go with that type of weapon. But yeah, I think going forward, in the next couple of patches, we should prepare ourselves for a Burning Burgeon comp. And too bad my Nahida is already C2, so I won't be able to show you guys a C0 versus... No, actually, I can borrow someone's account. Like right here. Burning Burgeon Bloom can store critical... I don't know how important this is going to be for Burning and Burgeon compositions. Right, the extra crit rate and crit damage. So going forward, I hope that I can borrow someone's C0 Nahida once Burning comes out and test it. But Yes, Raiden Shogun. Well, that's awkward. Can I go sideways? Yes, I can. But yeah. Oh, we are out. Oh my goodness! Look at that! Look at Raiden's. Her knee, her left knee is in her chest. What is going on? Like, Hoyoverse, I think I found a game-breaking bug. What is her leg doing? Her leg is coming out of her shoulder. Anyways. Just shows Genshin has a long way to go before it's bug-free, but it's because these amazing... my goodness. She looks like a bug. Raiden gymnastics. True. She's a puppet. It's fine. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh my god. Why does she still have the wet status? We're already out. Wait, why does she still have the wet status? What the hell? Wait, my game's bugged. My game's bugged. She's... Well, we're back. We're back where we're started. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Expect some Raiden videos coming out, people. How many more days we got? We got 5 days left. So next, what? 5 days from now. That's next Monday or Tuesday. I think it's next Tuesday. Raiden is coming. Who is the other character that's coming next patch? Ayato. Oh my god. He is so basic that I already forgot about him. I mean, I'll make some videos for Ayato. I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I remember I did invest into him. I leveled him up. But I stopped because I was like, okay, this is far. Yeah, I got him to level 80. So it's like one of those characters that I actually built up and invested. But what about his talents? Yeah, I got him to 185. I think this character was like pretty decent. I wouldn't say he's bad, but he's not good. Like another solid, like, okay, not mid, but he's solid. He's good. I think Ayato is the baseline for a well-designed character. As a DPS, he's great. He has like many aspects of his kit that just works. But the problem is he does feel like he lacks a bit of scaling. So he needs like 5-star weapons to make him work. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard to put a finger on him. People will be like, "Oh, Walrus, you're capping. He can work with a 3-star weapon." Like, yeah, but like as a DPS character, oftentimes you just want to give him a little more. And yeah, but I'll make videos about him. I think it's pretty cool. He's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's unfortunate because if he had really amazing 4-star options for weapons, like free-to-play options, maybe people would consider him. More people would consider him. But yeah. Till next time, urge y'all to stay safe and peace. Bye bye.